What's up, DFS players? We are going through the best PrizePicks player props for tonight. So I have one I really like, but unfortunately, as a recap, yesterday's lost our batter prop on Elvis. Come on, Elvis. That ended up losing, so we lost this, but let's get back to our winning ways. So I have a really good player prop entry. So as a quick recap, PrizePicks is a fascinating platform. And the reason it's a fascinating DFS platform is because it doesn't matter if you look at the entry to payout, 20 to win 60, 20 to win $40 in profit plus your $20 stake back. So it is not 20 to win 60 in profit, it's 20 to win 40 in profit plus your $20 stake back, which is just plus 200 odds. Now, what's so fascinating about this is it doesn't matter if you take the overs, the unders, you'll see your payout doesn't change depending on whatever two picks you select. 20 to win 60, right? Plus 200 odds for any two-player prop pick entry. And we've gone through the math before, but what that essentially means is PrizePicks is giving you implied odds of minus 137 odds on any player prop you select in a two-pick entry. Minus 137 juice on both sides, right? So if you think about it, that's a lot of juice, right? You can see most sports books plus 100, minus 122. So getting minus 137, minus 137 is a ton of juice. But because PrizePicks doesn't vary payouts, depending on if you select the over or the under, it's possible to find a lot of good betting opportunities. So OddsJam has a bunch of betting tools which are based solely in real-time data. And essentially the only strategy on PrizePicks, the only PrizePicks betting strategy that makes sense is looking for value in the odds versus more efficient betting markets such as sportsbooks, right? So for example, we can see a bet on the middle tool right now, which is showing us Eric Lauer. FanDuel setting the line at over under 5.5, and they have the over 5.5 strikeouts heavily juiced, is you can get over 5, which is half a strikeout better on PrizePicks, right? So that's on the middle betting tool. But unfortunately, you'll notice if I reload this page, this already moved, right? PrizePicks moved from over 5 to over 5.5. So we won't be able to bet on this one. So I'm going to move on to another two player props that I really like. So the first one we have is Zach Plesac over 3.5 strikeouts, right? FanDuel is pricing this all the way at minus 164, right, on the over. So the over is heavily juiced, right? This is why it's so shocking that sportsbooks do not vary. So if we go to Plesac right here, we'll take his over. This is why it's so shocking that sportsbooks or that PrizePicks doesn't vary your payout depending on if you select the over or the under, right? The sportsbooks have this over heavily juiced. FanDuel has this over heavily juiced, which means that FanDuel thinks the over is much more likely to hit, right? That's why the over is minus 164 odds and the under is plus 128 odds. Sportsbooks imply win probabilities for bets through their odds, right? So this is the first player prop I'm going to go with. And then the second one is even better, and it's Ian Anderson over 3.5 strikeouts. So FanDuel has this at minus 260 odds, right? And we're getting the implied price of minus 137 on PrizePicks, which is a ton better, right? So this is a pick you want to be all over on PrizePicks, right? So FanDuel has this minus 260. We're getting this minus 137 implied odds on PrizePicks. So if you think about it, this is why it's so crazy, right? If I took, and you may be like, how does FanDuel have so many strikeout lines? This is just an interesting note, and I use it all the time when I'm looking for value on PrizePicks, is they have alternate strikeout lines, on FanDuel. So for example, you can bet on Zach 3+ strikeouts, 4+ strikeouts, 5+ strikeouts, whatever, right? And FanDuel is really one of the only sportsbooks to offer this feature of alternate lines on player props, right? So we can compare the alternate line for Ian Anderson over 3.5 strikeouts or 4+ strikeouts, which is minus 260, to the line on PrizePicks, which is minus 137. And clearly we're getting a ton of value on PrizePicks, right? It's giving us like 123 cents of improvement from the odds on FanDuel. So another way to think about this is, right, if we created this two-leg parlay on FanDuel, Zach over 3.5 and Ian over 3.5 or 4+ strikeouts, right? Over 3.5 is the same as 4+ strikeouts. We would be getting plus 122 odds in our FanDuel two-leg parlay, right? Now, on PrizePicks, we're getting plus 200, 20 to win 60, which is just 20 to win 40 in profit, which is plus 200 odds. So on FanDuel, we're getting plus 122. On PrizePicks, we're getting plus 200. So that's a ton of value that we're able to accumulate on PrizePicks. And again, the only reason is because PrizePicks doesn't vary the payouts depending on if you select the over or the under. So FanDuel's telling us that the over is much more likely to hit. And you can see that because if I change Zach over 3.5 strikeouts to under 3.5, now we're getting plus 215 odds on FanDuel, right? And PrizePicks is still only giving us plus 200. So you definitely wouldn't want to place this bet, this player prop bet on PrizePicks. Whereas if you take both overs, because both overs are much more likely to occur, we're getting a ton of value on PrizePicks at plus 200 odds, right? So we're looking for value using all the betting tools on OddsJam, scanning the odds, looking for lines, especially like Ian Anderson over 3.5 strikeouts, where we're just getting ridiculous value, right? FanDuel has this minus 260. We're getting minus 137 implied odds on PrizePicks. This parlay only comes out to plus 122 on FanDuel. We're getting it plus 200 on PrizePicks. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in for $250. Projections have changed since you moved them. Of course, Ian Anderson already moved up to 4 strikeouts. So that's unfortunate. So unfortunately, I won't be able to place this player prop entry on PrizePicks. I'll still share the video because I think it's helpful to kind of understand the strategy behind PrizePicks, but I won't be able to place this player prop bet, so we can reload and see if any new, betting opportunities come up on OddsJam, on PrizePicks right now, but I doubt it. It's kind of late at night. So regardless, we're not going to be able to place this, but hopefully you found this video helpful in terms of PrizePicks betting strategy, stuff like that, and let's make some money.